Talking with Tad. We're back again, and we're only a week and a half out from the election. By the time you see this, I mean, the days are going to be so short and things are happening so fast. And I'm so thankful that all of you are joining in, that you're listening, you're getting to know our guest speakers, all the judges and justices that we've had on for interviews. It really, truly is making a difference. And that's because you're sharing. And I also want to say thank you that I know a number of you have signed up to do phone calling. I talked to Amy Clark, and she said that she got a number of requests of people that want to volunteer. She's still looking for more people to join in. So remember, you can volunteer if you feel comfortable staying at home by making phone calls, writing postcards. We've got a job for you. But remember, every single vote counts. As you can see, I've got my little, this is the tag that we're giving out in Kendall County that says, I voted. And I have. I'm hoping that you can say you have, and you're getting more people to go to the polls. Every time someone stops me when I'm wearing my Trump mask, or I'm having another something that says, have you voted? They come back and they say something positive. I said, have you voted? And they say yes. So it's really encouraging what's going on out there. But we just cannot stop. We have to work till the very last on November 3rd. Well, now, as we get an opportunity to meet a new person, another guest speaker, another justice, Justice Jane Bland is going to be someone that the newest person on the court actually just got appointed by Governor Abbott because of who she is and what she's done. But I don't want to take that away from her. I want you to hear firsthand who she is, what motivated her to become an attorney. Why did she go in to applying to be the justice, or even running for her other positions that she has? So, Judge, would you take this away and tell us your story? We can't wait to hear it.
Thank you, Tony Ann, and hello, everybody. And I'm so grateful to be here with y'all today as we're getting so close to November 3rd. We're all ready for that day to be here, and it just, it keeps coming. So I'm Jane Bland, and I'm the newest justice on the Texas Supreme Court. I was appointed just a year ago by Governor Greg Abbott. And I will be the newest justice for just a little while longer because another judge recently retired, and last week Governor Abbott announced that he intends to appoint a new judge, Rebecca Huddle, who will be joining us just as soon as she can get sworn in. So that's some breaking news for you guys.
Wow, that is breaking news. Thank you.
Yeah, and so hopefully she can come on your show, Tony Ann, and introduce herself. She fortunately is not running right now, but she'll run in 2 years. Anyway, I grew up in North Houston in Montgomery County, went to high school in the Woodlands back before the Woodlands was the big place that is today. It was small, and my high school is now the 9th grade. I went to McCullough High School. I'm the oldest of 4 children, which made good training for being on the appellate court, where you're always deliberating or collaborating with your colleagues. And of course, we all do that with our brothers and sisters. I'm a Longhorn, and went to UT undergrad, got my degree in accounting and honors business, and then went to UT Law School, graduated at the top of my class. I started out practicing law in Houston. I worked for a federal judge on the 5th Circuit for a year, and then practiced law in Houston with a Houston law firm. And
did you always, excuse me for interrupting, but did you always know you wanted to be an attorney? Was that like your dream to do that?
I thought I might want to be an attorney. I didn't know that I wanted to be a judge. I never really thought about being a judge. But when I was younger, I was on my report card, it always would come home, talks too much with others. So I was lucky because my father, who told me to pipe down, also said, and sometimes the boys made fun of me because I was so bossy and talkative. And so, my father said, well, I don't know, honey, but maybe that's a skill you could use in life. You could maybe be a lawyer. And, I think something about that stuck with me. My family, we're not lawyers, nobody in our family. But maybe it did. And so I kind of always thought I might want to go to law school. And it turned out to be a great fit for me as a career. It's a wonderful thing to do as a woman. There's so many different avenues of practice that you can get involved in. And I encourage anyone watching out there that might be interested, you can call me. I can talk to you about why it's great to be a lawyer.
Well, and then you went into, you did, like ran for the first court of appeals. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So I started out, my first judicial job was on the trial court, and Governor George W. Bush, then governor, appointed me to that bench. And it was after my husband and I, we have two children, and we'd had our daughter, and someone said to me, oh, there's a vacancy on the Harris County bench, and Governor Bush is looking for someone. So if you know anyone who's interested, let him know. And I thought to myself, well, I might be interested in that. And I never really had thought about it. And then the governor didn't appoint me to that. I applied for that one and I didn't get it. But about 6 months later, another one came up. And they had to fill it very quickly because it was close to the filing deadline to run to keep your seat. And they called me and said, do you want it? And if you do, let us know within the next 24 hours. And so I started out on the trial bench in 1997. I ran to keep my seat in 98, and then continued on the trial bench until Governor Perry appointed me to the Court of Appeals in 2003. And then I stayed on the Court of Appeals until I lost election in 2018 in the sweep of judicial offices.
Yeah,
it happened all over the state.
Yeah.
So
well, that's interesting. Now, one thing else that I noticed that you do is, because I'm going to ask you about how you run your campaign. So before I get there, what I want to know is the volunteer work you did. Because I see you as a real leader, and obviously you took care of your siblings and made sure that you led them in the right direction, but you also are a leader and someone that gives of your time. Tell me about a couple of those services that, the organizations that you helped out with.
Well, so over time, I've tried to do two things. One is do things that I can do with my children. So I've been involved in some community activities that you could do only with children. Our children and I have been involved in be a resource for CPS kids, for example. But the other is where I've tried to tap into my skills as a lawyer and do things that others, that people without a law degree can't do. And so I've been involved in the main volunteer lawyer organization in Houston called Houston Volunteer Lawyers. And they take on cases for low-income Texans, civil cases, not criminal cases. And I've been on that board for over 10 years. I served as the treasurer, the vice chair, and the chair of that board.
Nice.
And I've been on other committees that really look at improving our justice system. I chaired the oversight committee for the Texas pattern jury charges, which is a set of books that trial judges all over the state use when they're trying to figure out what instructions to give to juries, criminal, family, civil, juvenile. All those cases are also different. And if there's some pattern instructions that a trial judge can use as a reference to help give the appropriate and correct law to the jury, that's a great thing. And so I've spent a lot of time working on that, and also on statewide rules and things like that.
Well, it's so important, especially for any judge or any attorney, and especially the young ones. It gives them a good direction, establishes the whole legal process, which is something that's important. wow, that's incredible. I'm not sure how you got all that done besides being an attorney or then a judge and raising the kids. You have done it, and you are a great example for many people, especially women that are out there looking to accomplish other things besides raising their children and being a housewife, a mom, a wife, and so on. And so you've really done an incredible job with all of that. But now I want to talk a little bit about your election, and or not just this election, but when you campaign. What is your favorite part of campaigning?
My favorite part is probably going to meetings of Republican women,
Yeah.
because I feel an affinity and I feel comfortable kind of talking, and I'm maybe less comfortable, at a large crowd. But they kind of gave me my start. I'll never forget. My daughter was a tiny one, and I would bring her with me. And everybody would say, well, I can watch the baby while you talk for your 1 minute. So that was great. So my daughter now is 22 and just graduated from college, and she's our tech support. So and we also have a son who's 25. So anyway, I think I felt comfortable talking to women about why judicial races matter, why they should care about judicial races, and really just to express the gratitude that I have for women who choose to be involved in politics and to understand the races and work hard to elect Republican judges, because we couldn't do it without you.
That connection, right? And especially, I agree with you, the women, they are so incredible. And what is, like, before we get into our last part of the fun fact, what is the most challenging part of as running for office? Do you have a challenging part at all, and asking for help or having more volunteers? What can we do for you, and what to help make it easier?
Well, the challenge for me, coming from being a judge in a just a part of the state, has been to try to get to know people all over the state. And it's such a large state. And of course, the year that we've had on the court, some people blame me because we've never, even the Chief Justice, who's been there 38 years, says we've never had a year like this, as we all work to adapt to COVID, as we work through these election challenges and all the things that are facing the court right now. I couldn't do it without my colleagues. But the challenging part of running for reelection in this environment is that you can't get to know people around the state like you ordinarily would. And so to the extent that you can spread the word about my qualifications and experience, I greatly appreciate that. And I think there's a significant contrast between the judges that are running for the Texas Supreme Court as Republicans and as Democrats in terms of qualifications, experience, and I just would welcome any efforts that you make to let people know.
And that's exactly what we're asking them to do, and sharing your website, going to your website, sharing it on Facebook or anything that they can, sharing this video, getting to know you personally, which is such a delight. Now let's kind of wrap this up, this last part. We need to know, what is that fun fact that you want to share with our listeners?
So I'm not the funny one in my family. My husband is funny, and I said, I have to have a fun fact. And he reeled off these four, which are that I'm left-handed, I'm the exact same age as Brooke Shields, and I worked as a ride operator in an amusement park. And I have this annoying habit of reading the end of a book first, and then going back and starting at the beginning and going all the way through, which I'm working on. So I think really my fun fact is that I'm married well, because if somebody at lunch today can give you those four things right off the top of his head, I did well.
That is, you did, and I think you have some pretty incredible children. So you guys made a good team, is what you've done. But now, what was the ride? Where were you? What were operating a ride? Where was
It was a monorail, and it through like African themed ride, and so you would say like over on side A, the train is the Grevy zebra, the tallest of zebra breeds, and its stripes are more narrow than those of other breeds and do not extend under the belly. So that's kind of
Oh, that is hysterical. I love it.
yeah.
Well, you tell your husband he did a great job of making those 4 suggestions, but my favorite is the ride. So I think that is pretty cool to do that. But Judge, we are so pleased to have you and for you to share all this information. And listeners, you have this video. I need you to share this video. We need to get this out. Let everybody know the personal side of Justice Jane Bland, so that we have this opportunity to increase her numbers of the people that voting. Don't forget, right here, you can see her website. Go to that, share it, and let's make sure that we get the vote out. Not many days left. Get people out there that are waiting till the last minute. And Judge, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.